Hello! Hi! How's it going, guys? This is Noxa here, and welcome to the start of a brand new series, The Cosmos. Alright, so first up, two pieces of news that are sort of important. One is, you may notice on my channel, I can't talk properly, but I've hit 16 subscribers. Whoa, big number. Which, as you may know, that's the power of two, which is when I'm doing my specials. I have not done a special yet, and brief explanation, I was working on a cool project, and as I was approaching the number, then I got to the number and I was like, you know, I can just finish off this project for the number. It's been a lot of work, and that particular project, which is a pretty awesome thing, and I still want to finish it, I've just taken a bit of a break, and in either case it's a lot of work. So there's some delays with that, but hopefully I'll still get it finished by the time I hit 32, which is the next milestone. If I don't, then I'll just do it as one big combined thing of awesomeness, because it is a big thing of awesomeness. So that's the plan for that. The other thing you may be wondering is, what on earth happened to Terra Noxta? Nothing happened, the world's still on my computer. I've sort of lost a bit of interest in the single player stuff. I was planning to do an episode a while back, but yeah, I was working on it, but I kind of lost a little bit of interest in the world, and it's stuff like, once I start playing multiplayer, it sort of does become a little less interesting to do single player stuff, and it's like, I could do this, but then there's no one to share it with and derp around it with. So that series is on hold until further notice. I may do more on there sometime if I'm bored, but who knows. But for the moment, so yes, I'm playing multiplayer on the Cosmos server, which is a server, it's vanilla, it's run by Cosmic Chris. He's a pretty awesome guy, he does videos, check him out, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. At the moment, the server is just running locally from his own computer or whatever, so by connecting using Hamachi, and it's on the other side of the world, so I get a massive amounts of lag, particularly when I first sign on. There's like a massive spike of like 30 seconds to a minute before things start happening, and I like to, it's a good idea to log out in a hole completely surrounded so you don't get completely mutilated and murdered in that time. And also like things like leaving the nether, there's that, but most of the time the lag's not too... Someone's grown my crops! Yeah, so most of the time the lag's not too bad. It's bearable. And there are plans to go to a proper hosting in the future. That could be like a few more weeks or something before we get that happening. No idea when. So what I've been doing here so far, I haven't really set up my main base. This is more of a side project type thing, and it's a very awesome idea. I recommend it's something everyone ought to try at least once. It's the sort of thing, though, it really needs to be done at the start of either a world or a specific main base type project. So I'll explain it. I've done this before on a previous server, and it was a lot of fun, and I've sort of wanted to do it a few times since, because it is a lot of fun, but, you know, when you think of it, I'll explain. What I'm doing here is building a graveyard. So this is the whole, I've fenced off this lovely area. This is sort of just around behind spawn. This gravel path leads back to the spawn point. So yeah, this same entrance is inspired, same design as my original one that I did a while back. So, and the way it works is, you know, you have graves, and like a real graveyard, you try and have different sort of graves. So this is your basic simple one. There'll be a lot of these. 2 gravel, stack of slabs and a sign. There is actually a chest in here, which is the coffin, and you put some bones and some rotten flesh in there. But you can also do different sorts of graves, like, so mostly these ones, but then like a real grave you have some fancy ones for more important people or richer people, some with fancy stone slabs, and I want to eventually have some that have cool entrances hidden inside them, like secrets and things. and maybe little mini bases or just opening into like a mausoleum type thing. Really nice and aesthetic. But the rules behind this is every grave that I add represents a time that I've died on the server. So every time I die, I have to come back here and add another grave. And obviously if I'm doing a big battle project or something, I don't necessarily have to do it instantly. I just have to keep track of the number of times I've died and then add that many graves. But most of the time it'll be pretty much straight away, and I'll have to just remember. But yeah, so because of that, again, it's a bit hard if you've been playing on the server for ages to just start doing that out of the middle of nowhere, because it's like, well, it's not a very accurate record, because it's only a record of deaths since I started counting deaths. So as far as that goes, yeah, it's a little bit hard to get into, unless, as what happened last time, was I was starting a new project, which was building a new town, and I started with that, and it was, you know, deaths during the construction of the town. So, yeah, that's what this is. So yeah, anytime you come and visit and you see there's more graves than last time, that means I've been dying. And yeah, and it's just, yeah, it's a nice thing. You can do as simple as you like if you couldn't be bothered doing anything fancy, but you can add fancier stuff. So that's sort of what I started, and I did this first so that I have this thing that I can keep that record from the very beginning. As far as what my main base will be, no idea yet. I still haven't really thought about that. I've got some ideas for some of the things I want to be doing, but not really any ideas for what the base style will be. So this is the main spawn area, portal. I'm going to make some bread because I'm getting a bit hungry. Well, I'm not, but I'm out of food. Main spawn, random stuff. There's Chris's amazing giant table. This is like the most amazing giant table I've ever seen. I mean, don't you agree? It's just like incredible. It's just a thing of beauty. I love it. But yes, one of the projects I've sort of been trying to do is just to get myself a bit more established. I need to get some enchantments happening. So I've gotten a bunch of bookshelves together and stuff, so I can make an enchantment setup, but I just need the levels really. And I want to get a Fortune 3 because it kind of sucks to mine diamonds and other good things without it, because it's a waste. Because yeah, it's stuff you lost, you're never going to get back. So that's sort of the important one. The other thing you can do is a Silk Touch, and just use that and collect them and Fortune 3 them later, which is generally preferred setup. But for the moment, you know, I'm sort of doing everything I can to get those levels and try an enchantment and see what happens. So what I think I'll do now is probably just a little bit of caving or something like that, because you can get quite a decent amount of levels from mining ores. Let me see, what have I got on me? All that stuff. I'm always like that. It's like, let's go and do something. My inventory is full of random crud. So here's a cave. I was exploring a little bit before. There's still plenty of good stuff that's no one else has stolen. They're probably after the biggest boils. Ooh, there are zombies somewhere. So iron, when you smelt it, you can get XP. Coal, you get a little bit of XP from. The other things that are like the diamonds and the lapis and the redstone, I don't want to mine so much, again, because it's waste. Although, I think like redstone isn't quite as big a waste. It's just as much a waste, but it's not as important because it's easier to find more than the other ones, which are a lot rarer. So I might start mining that because, but yeah, things like diamond and lapis, like there's no way I'm wasting those. Which, the only thing, obviously, to make an enchantment table, you need to do that. You need 2 diamonds. Well, you don't need to waste it because sometimes you can find them in abandoned mine shafts, which is the best thing that can happen to you. But if you can't, you're going to have to just waste 2. And as you saw at the beginning, I've found some diamond ore. I've just been saving it. Hello, little batty bat. But yes. So, I've been playing around quite a lot with the snapshots for the new redstone update, coming up with all sorts of awesome ideas. So there's one project I want to build at Spawn, which is a community project that's going to utilise that. I won't spoil it yet, I'm going to keep it a secret a bit longer. But it's a very cool thing. I think it's something that will benefit the community at large and be very cool. And I've built a working prototype. I'm going to build a better version because I've realised the flaws with my prototype. But yeah, that's kind of waiting on hoppers and the comparators a little bit. But mainly for the interaction with hoppers and chests and things. So there's that. Other projects, sometime in the future, I need to build a cactus farm. It's just a thing. One of the things you need a farm that produces absurd amounts of cactus. It's just a necessity. So sometime I will, like the one I built in single player in Terra Noxta, which I never did a video showing the completed version, but that is awesome. I can build a more efficient design though. And using the hoppers I can have one, if I build it somewhere in the spawn area, so it's always loaded when the server's running, and then that means it's always going to be running, and then I can use a hopper to collect the items so that I never lose anything. Although, I think, really honestly, the awesomest cactus farm is one where you don't need a chest or anything to collect the items at all. Is when you just have enough cactus floating there that you have cactus on tap. You want cactus, you just stand there and collect as much as you could ever want. That, to me, is the ideal for any sort of automatic farm, really, but I'm happy to just hoard massive amounts of cactus by having it pour into a massive array of chests. I think I came down here before. Yeah, nothing. So yeah, that's one plan, and other things, again, using the hoppers you can make some cool little shops and things. Like, you can, obviously, it has to be an honor-based system anyway, because there's nothing stopping people from just breaking into things. But, so, I mean, you can do that with just a chest or whatever. The normal, boring way, but it's cooler and more fun for people to use if you can do things like, you know, just throw in whatever item you're accepting as currency and it automatically spits out whatever item you want to buy. So I definitely want to do some things like that. I know other people have worked on designs like that as well. Like Etho's doing one and Seth Bling. I've come up with my own design, but I'll need to modify it a bit for some things. I'm thinking of things I could sell or buy. It would be kind of cool, I think, maybe to the enchantments. Like I could do a whole bunch of enchanting, get a bunch of the books and sell the different enchantments. I could either do it like a lucky dip, you put in whatever currency item and get a random enchant that I've got in there, or I could have it targeted, have a different setup for different enchants, so you can buy whatever you want. And I think that would be a good way to earn massive amounts of good resources like emeralds or lapis or something amazing like that. And yeah, and set those up in useful places. And yeah, just other things I could trade. So using the shop setup, I reckon I'm going to have some fun with that at some point. So that's one thing I'm sort of planning to get set up. But again, that's another thing that waits on the new features for the snapshot. So there's some discussion about whether we want to update to the snapshots or just wait for the official update. So not sure what's going to happen there. As far as I'm aware, the snapshots do seem to be fairly stable and usable, so it's not like, well, the latest one anyway. I mean, sometimes, yeah, they have problems or there's a fairly game-breaking bug in them, which does make it so you don't really want to use it, but at the moment they seem to be okay. I'd definitely be happy to do that. I've been playing around, updating my texture packs. That's the other thing that's awesome, is the new support for texture packers. It was a little bit of a pain setting up some of the things, because before, to do the animations and things, you have to use a mod like MC Patcher, and I'd got my files for, because there was some of the textures you can't naturally, or previously, before then, you couldn't actually do, like the custom water, because it was the thing generated its own thing procedurally. But now they've added support for that, and I'd already made my custom water using the MC Patcher, which is what I'm using at the moment. So I'm using the old version, but I was able to update that. Actually, for some of them it was the same format. For doing the flowing textures, it was more of a pain because they need to be twice the size for whatever reason of the way that it renders it out. So that was a real pain because I had to go and copy a million things to get that working. But I got it in the end, and yeah, so I've done what I'm doing now. I've pretty much updated all the textures, but what have been working on more recently is playing around with the new bonuses, like adding animations. You can animate anything, and there's a lot of fun. Like, there's just the simple things like having something animated, like my furnaces when they're lit, there's fire and it flickers and they glow, which makes it look cool. But there's some really cool things you can do, subtle things. You can have a long delay, so something's an animation that happens randomly or occasionally. Well, not truly randomly, but apparently randomly. So yeah, I've had a lot of fun with that so far, and looking for other ideas of things I could do it with. So yeah, that's definitely one feature I've been loving so far. And then just other little things like the redstone, I've made this little sparks on that actually animated and stuff, which is quite nice. I think you do want to be careful. You don't want to have like everything with its own little thing, or just inventory and stuff would get looking really, really busy and would be annoying. But for the most part, you know, so there's just a few little things I've been working on with that. So yeah, regarding other features, the other thing I've been working on, well, it's not really something snapshot related, but I've been working on some other cool projects and things I might want to eventually build here. But again, running into some problems, I don't know. Anyway, some cool projects in the future. Level 20. Need to get 10 more levels. Oh, there's a creeper over there. Those things are annoying. Like, it's okay, like, most of the time, as I said, the lag's not too bad, you can manage to kill them. But during that huge spike when you log on, it was like, I logged on, walked around, no mobs were moving, I ran up into a corner and was like, am I okay? And then suddenly, bam, 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 I'm being smashed all over the place, there's 2 explosions blowing up my waterfalls, and it's like, whoa! And then it's like, what just happened? It's kind of crazy. But yeah, so, general pro tip in this case, if you're going to log out, do it in a hole. It's the only way to be safe. And that way you can wait till the lag spike is over before returning to the world of sanity. I'm just realising I didn't set any kind of timer or anything for how long I've been blabbering for. So, this could be a long episode or a short one, depending on how much longer I do. And I think I'm kind of running out of things to talk about anyway, so I'll either have to cut and go to another project, or just do that, or just end the episode here. No one else is online at the moment. They've probably, you know, got lives or something important like that. I'm going to have quite a lot of coal after this. And again, so with the fortune, it doesn't affect the amount of XP you get. So I'm not really wasting that. And coal is, a bit like I was saying with the redstone, it's kind of everywhere. So it's not that much of a waste to mine it without a fortune pick. And you can make your own with charcoal anyway. So because of that, I'm not worrying about that. But yeah, again, the valuable things like the diamonds and the whatever, I really want to get that fortune happening. So yes, I might call it a day for this episode. Yeah, well, why not? So at the end, if it's I don't know. I'm always bad at underestimating the length. It's like, oh, I've only been like here 10 minutes. It's been like 3 hours. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. Feel free to leave an appropriate form of feedback. Have a good day, or else I will come and hunt you down. Make sure you have a good day. And I'll see you next time. This is Noxter, in the cosmos, mining coal. So long. No! Why no fortune pick? Why?